with all the teachings you've done, like obviously your travels, like you have you taught at Texas Tech, you high school for 11 years, you went to China to even teach, and now you came to Arizona, and like you were whoa. What makes UAT so different? Like it seems like it kept you. So why UAT?
Oh, I love UAT. I love the personal aspect of it where you don't feel like a number. I feel like the students, we know our students, and that's very important to me because I love people and I want to engage with my students and get to know them. And so I love that I get to see them semester after semester if they take more of my classes, and I get to hear how their summer break was or their Christmas break. And um, so I love that feel of it. I feel like the administration here makes us feel so valued, and they really respect our expertise. And as a professor here, you get a lot of flexibility in things that you want to teach. So um, like Mark Smith and we wanted to teach a class on business math. We're like, I think it'd be so important for students to have all
Yes,
these, right, these budgeting skills and know how to pay a mortgage and how to do their taxes. And so they were like, yeah, do it. And then Professor Glover and we wanted to do a science and math class where they blow things up. So Professor Glover takes care of that stuff. I just come in and do the math behind it. But so yeah, a lot of variety if you wanted, and they're very open to different classes that you propose. So I love that piece, and I just love our student population here. All of the students that I've had have been so respectful and so kind, and I don't know if that's the same at other universities, but I just really love our students here. So that's good.
oh, that's awesome. It sounds like, because I'm a remote student. It sounds like an amazing atmosphere. Like kind of like you can run your own business, like or get
Mhm.
some development project, like kind of like a business, like a team, like a lot of team effort in this school for sure. Like
Yes.
um,
Yes.
so with that, as a teacher, like especially at UAT, do you see like there's like some universal challenges that students have that you've noticed like with any of the age with like all ages that you could see an obstacle with, or what have you observed in your educational career?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's see. Challenges. I think the biggest challenge is students, I think, wanting to, I think after COVID, it was hard to get back into in-person classes. And
Yes.
so, attending, yeah, and I get
It
it,
was
right?
hard.
It's been convenient to be at home, yeah. But I feel like there's so much advantage to the in-person aspect if you're able to, just because you get to interact with your peers and with your teacher, and so it's just a different experience. So I think that COVID's obviously created a little bit of a challenge, but yeah, I
It
guess
did.
specifically with math, it can be a challenge sometimes when if a student hasn't had math in a long time because we have all ages. And
Hmm.
so if it's been like 15, 20 years, it can be a struggle to take a math class again. And so I know there's a lot of fear around math sometimes when that's the case, which I totally understand. Um, so yeah, so trying to get the students um, feeling a little more confident about math in that case is one of my challenges, and which I embrace, but because I want to get them to be excited about math, but yeah, sometimes that can be a challenge.
Yeah, I feel like with math, there's a lot of visual like to it, that like visual reassurance sometimes. I mean, I like that my teacher would show me examples like that were relatable to what I was working on. Like don't give me a
Yes.
problem from
Mhm.
that's like XYZ, but you're over here talking about ABCD. Like, or I know it sounds weird, but it's like it's totally like
Right.
not what you gave
Yeah.
us. That's not what you gave us.
Yeah.
That
And
was something.
that's one thing I like about you. Yeah. That's actually one thing that I love about our students, especially I know you said you're a robotics student. That's I always will ask my robotics students like, hey, what which of this stuff do you use in robotics so that I can share that with my students? Because it's always helpful to know, okay, what are the practical applications of this topic? And so,
Okay.
so a lot of times I'll pick my students' brains to see like, hey, where do you use this? And so yeah, I try to find ways to make it a little bit more relevant to what they're studying. So like yesterday, for instance, we're doing transformations of functions. So, so we looked at, I know I have a lot of game programming majors in my class. And so I brought up Super Mario Brothers, the classic.
Okay.
And we watched how he moves left and right and up and down, and he dilates, gets bigger and smaller, and he rotates. So all the different transformations of functions, and we talk about how someone had to program that, so they had to know how to transform that function. And so I try to make it somewhat
That's
relevant, but
cool.
that's kind of a fun challenge for myself too.
That's super cool.
But I feel like that's one thing that I really love about UAT is they do that in even like the English classes. You know, they'll have a class on, didn't they have like a Game of Thrones English class or something like that? I can't remember. But they they try to, oh, there's a world building class because people were interested in that, but it's an English class. So it's just kind of cool that we have, like I mentioned before, the freedom to make classes that are more relevant to our population.
Absolutely. I mean, well, I do have like because you talked about like relating like career based with robotics. I actually
Mm.
worked with robotics at a genetics laboratory. I was a calibration tech. I did a lot of like maintenance on them with even with centrifuges and
Uh-huh.
stuff like that because
Wow.
robotics is going big in the medical field. They're trying to replace laboratory techs with robots. They are.
Mm.
And the biggest
Yeah, that
thing
makes sense.
they are, and the biggest thing that I'm seeing is that they need people that are in robotics that know a lot about measurement,
Okay.
balances, and stuff like that, that kind of stuff. I do know
Hey.
the one thing that speaks out is if ASQ certification and like what is it called metrology. Like and basically that's the biggest
Mm-hmm.
thing because especially when and I want like with the medical field, not only are you going to do it, you have to know robotics, you have to know chemistry, and so you're gonna and
Oh,
physics and all those
yeah.
kinds of stuff. So yeah, so you're gonna have to know a lot of math to make sure you're right to program the robot to give
Yeah.
the right measurements for these specimens, the right chemicals, the right everything. You have to program them. And then and then you can have like one robot, and I have an automation team and the service engineering, but the automation too will have to know the math behind it. They have to, it's a requirement. They have to know the chemistry to program the robot to do it.
Uh-huh.
So like I
Oh,
do know for a
wow.
fact that there's a lot of measurement involved in robotics if they were to want to go to lab stuff because like I know a lot of automation is going to lab right now. So I'm just a tip on that one. I don't
Mm.
know.
Yeah, thank you. That's so helpful to know. I love sharing
Yes,
those things with my students because then I'm like, see, math is important.
it is very like to
That's
the
great.
T, especially with patient care. Especially
Yeah,
with patient care. Um. Okay.
that
So.
makes
Oh,
sense. I wouldn't have thought of that then.
yeah. No. And it's. Yeah, I didn't think about that either. Like when I stepped in, I was all like, "Oh yeah, modules and wires, and that's all I need to know." And it's crazy because
Yeah.
like
Yeah, that's what I
it's
thought.
not like that at all. Sorry. It
Yeah.
so but all right.
What a
So
great field to be going into.
yeah, it's pretty hectic. um it was something.
Oh, I
So
bet.
you have any projects you do with your students? Is there any math projects you have going on, like that you demonstrate, like this is why math is important, like or something like?
Yeah,
Sorry.
let's see. Yeah, so in different classes, we have some different projects. So right now in my statistics class, they actually are conducting a survey. Um, and then they're going to have to analyze the results and find like all of the different measures of central tendency, like mean, median, mode, and
Oh,
kind of
okay.
extend from there. So they're using their own survey results to do that. In my pre-calculus class, they do a vector project where they have to create like a treasure hunt, but the clues are all using like polar coordinates or rectangular coordinates and different things we've learned. And then they solve each other's treasure projects to get there's a treasure at the end they have to bring for the other groups. So, so we do those types of things.
Wow. Do
And
they
then in
like
the
get?
business math class,
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Do they get a grade? Like if like
oh no,
whoever if they get like if they can't figure it out, like they get like, or is it just for fun? Like they just like try to figure out each other's treasure stuff, or what do they get to do with those treasure
yeah, it
hunts?
is for a grade. So
Okay.
so they if the other groups kind of they kind of grade it for me first, because if they can't get through the clues, then I'll take a look at it and figure out where they're going wrong and see if it's them or the other group. But yeah, they get a grade for doing their own project and then for also doing the calculations on someone else's project. So it's kind of like a
Yeah.
quiz grade.
That's so
Yeah,
cool.
so I enjoy that. It's kind of fun to see the things they come up with. Some of them, they'll do like different galaxies or um, someone did like a UAT treasure hunt where you actually go around the school
That's
and
cool.
get clues. So that was kind of fun. So yeah, that one I enjoy watching.
Nice.
But and then in my business math class, they have to create a budget. So that's kind of a project. And then they actually for when we talk about mortgages, they have to go online to Zillow and find a house that they would want to buy. And they have to
Nice.
then calculate the monthly mortgage payment. And then I make them find the total interest they'll end up paying over the 30 years, which is a little eye-opening. Just for taking out a loan. So that one is kind of fun too, because it's real life.
Adult stuff. Like, whoa. That's good. No, that's good. That's so good. Like it sounds like you guys are relating like this like the what you would face in real life and reality with like, mortgages or even taxes. Do you do like taxes too or something? Like yeah?
Yeah, we look at taxes and I have them fill out a W-4, but
Oh.
we don't do anyone specifically because
Oh, of course.
sometimes it's taxes, sometimes it's not, but
Yeah. But that's so
but yeah, we look
good.
at that. Yeah, I really enjoy teaching that class because it's so relevant. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they need
I
that for
enjoy it.
high school. Like to start off
Yes, yes. So
people. Like
actually, yeah, when I taught high school, one of my friends taught at another school in our district, and he started teaching a financial applications class for seniors. And so I asked if I could teach it at my school, and he gave me the curriculum, and it was a game changer for those seniors because they were getting ready to graduate and budgeting college. And I was like, oh, I'm so glad that we're teaching this at the high school level now. And so I don't know if they're continuing to do that in other high schools, but I know the one I taught at was starting to see the importance of it. So
nice.
hopefully, but yeah, I
That's
know when I
amazing.
got to college, I had no idea what I was doing. I
Yeah,
had to call my
like
mom. I'm like, Mom, how do I write a check?
hey, how do what am I how do I do
Yeah.
this? Like
Yeah.
I need to go take classes. Like,
Yeah.
and I actually did. Like, I actually
Yeah,
did.
that's good.
So with 5 week and 15 week, how do you change that your teachings with those? Like from a 5 week student that's taking your class to a 15, like is there different ways you approach them or how?
Yeah, so they the 5 week they have more discussions like on discussion
Mm,
boards versus the 15 week don't have discussions because they're discussing in class. There do tend to
okay.
be more group activities in the in person just because it's hard to do that online. Um, but the nice thing is we still do 2 live sessions a week. So I still get not as those live sessions online due to working during the day and like that, but I still will have some students attend live there. So I think UAT does a good job of trying to include um, the online just as much as the on ground and make them feel like they're. So I think that's something that they do well. And even like some of the opportunities like game jams, they try and have a virtual
Yeah,
component for them. But yeah, are you online or are you on ground?
I'm strictly online. I kind of do wish I was on ground because it sounds like because I love hands-on experience that's provided over there at the school. But to be honest, like
Mhm.
even with like robotics classes, they do send you your the stuff that you need. Sometimes there might be delay
Oh,
and
that's
there's might be
awesome.
some stuff, but and all in all, like they're very open like to help work with you with your
Oh,
grades and everything
good.
like that. And I am a 5 week student
That's
as well,
great.
so it does help like that. I feel like with the 5 week, like yeah, it's hectic, but it's also a little bit more leeway. I guess I don't know. Like I wouldn't know how a
Yeah.
15 week student is over there, but I mean I enjoy the 5 week for sure. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of nice you can work on your own time schedule and
well yeah, especially because I've noticed a lot of
online
students
if you
are
want.
even in 30s or stuff like that. A lot of them are in their 30s. And I didn't know that. I was like, I thought, and they have jobs and stuff like that, so they need that. They need that time to adjust and to be flexible. Like, so I am so grateful that UAT like has given that to the students for sure. Honestly,
Yeah. And I love the when the older students are in with the younger students because they have, especially when I teach my business math class, they have a wealth of knowledge to offer and insights that like they teach me things.
yeah, and
It's kind of
I
fun for
totally get that.
the younger students to learn from the older students.
Yeah, because I'm
Hmm.
still learning from the older
Yeah.
ones. Like, I didn't know this. Like, I know these tools were provided. Like stuff like that. Like you're learning something every day here, and
Yeah.
remote or on campus, and I do love it, and I do appreciate that. So yeah,
Yeah.
but hey, that was a lot of good stuff. Thank you so much. I mean,
Oh,
you're
you're
really cool to
welcome.
hang. I love your personality. Super
Oh,
energetic, super alive. I bet you're one heck of a good teacher to
thank
go
you.
and see. So, I do hope that I get to talk to you
Thanks.
again
Yeah.
someday, or
Thank
maybe take
you.
a math class or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I know it was so fun talking to you too.
All right. Well, I hope you have a good day, and I hope you stay safe. And you have it. Yep. Bye.
Thank you too. Bye.